Hey, what's going on, everyone? Isaiah Henry, First Position Real Estate. As always, I help government employees build wealth and retire early with real estate. Today, we had on Antonio Young on our Instagram Live. It was an amazing episode. Antonio is a fellow Golden Hawk, just like myself, so we were able to reminisce about our time there. Antonio shared some challenges, some successes about his real estate business, and we touched on some long distance investing as well. Great session. I won't ruin it, so I'll have you guys go over there and join him there. It's a really great episode. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. More real estate investing content coming out as always. We also just got the books finally finished up there. So make sure to go get yourself a copy there. Enjoy the live. Okay, here's my guy. Let's get it.
Good sir, how are you?
I'm good, bro. How are you today, man?
I'm doing well. It's getting colder. I'm snowboarding season.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, it's funny. I just was like doing some cleaning up in the office and found my ski boots. I was like, oh, shoot, it's almost that time of year.
Yeah. Do you
It's
snowboard
good.
or ski a lot?
I back in the day I used to ski a lot more. I
Yeah.
think last year I got out maybe once or twice, but before that I was going out like 5 to 10 times a season.
Nice, nice. Yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
just wondering because I just put on these earphones because I don't do this often, but can you hear me on these?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, it's all good. Y'all techied up. And just for everyone, I'll just do a quick intro for us, guys. It's first Isaiah Henry, First Position Real Estate. As always, I help government employees build wealth and retire early with real estate. Today we have on the man, the myth, the legend, Laurier's very own Antonio Young. Thanks for joining us today, Antonio. Why don't you give everyone like a 30-second overview, who you are, what are you doing in real estate, and what's going on with you, man?
Yeah, 30 seconds. For me, I'm Antonio. Oh, you're counting the clock on me. This is intense. Yeah, no, for me, I started investing in real estate about 5 years ago. And then for me, I've accumulated about 11 properties or just bought and sold that many. And I've been investing in all over of Ontario, like Brantford, Kitchener, Cambridge, London, every city in Ontario. I've probably been there. And then now I'm invested in Alberta. And so me and my business partner Kathy, she invests over in New Brunswick. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, we're just looking to do bigger things now. And recently we joined forces with Kathy, and we're looking to do bigger things where it's just like more commercial, larger apartment building deals. So, yeah, that's a little bit about myself.
Awesome, man. Well, I seen where you started. I see where you're going, and it's only good things I see. So I really appreciate you bringing that kind of experience onto the live, so we can share with both our audiences there. If it's cool with you, I got 3 questions, and I'd love to dive in.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go for it.
Awesome, man. So first question. So what are your thoughts on the current market? Are you in your strategy? Are you scaling back, or are you pressing forward?
So for me, I'm pressing back, and for me, it's or I kind of took both of that sentence.
It's all
I'm
right.
actually scaling. I'm scaling back right now, or I'm just pausing from now because I do think that real estate works in cycles.
Yeah.
And so you have its ups, its down. And right now I do feel like we hit the peak sometime this year. And then now we're more so on the down cycle. And so it just needs to be, I guess, like another strategy for each part of like the real estate cycle. So as interest rates are going up, I feel like everyone's known this. Real estate, interest rates are the gravity for real estate. So with interest rates going up, real estate prices do come down. But for me, it's just like I see this as a pretty good opportunity because in the past couple of years, there's been a lot of demand for real estate, and you actually have a ton of people just driving up prices. And there's a lot of, I guess, like newer investors or people that are coming into the market that are buying deals that don't necessarily make the most sense. So
Yeah.
then with real estate prices coming down, it's some of the more sophisticated investors or the ones that are analyzing the deals and doing a more thorough check in to the investments. They actually can hold on to their properties and they don't have to sell. So then they can just ride the wave back up. and that's where actually wealth is generated. So when there's actually a downturn in real estate, my strategy is just to wait a little bit and then for interest rates to drop a little, and then that's when I'll start acquiring aggressively again.
I love it. I love it. And you mentioned some really good points there in terms of, again, this isn't me just, taking a dump on all the newbie investors. But like you said, a lot of the sophisticated investors, those are the guys who aren't freaking out. Like I know guys who have like, 10, 20, 30 doors and they're like, yeah, whatever. But I know guys with like one or two doors and they're freaking out. They're like, guys, the world's falling, the world's falling. But I'm like, if you ran your numbers well, you're diversified across the asset class that you want to be in, you understood your numbers to a T, you didn't run everything like at 1.6 and it had to work at 1.6. If it didn't, the deal blew up. But the
Yeah.
guys who like weren't able to like understand, hey, rates don't always be like these are abnormally low. I can't run my numbers forever on this. Like if you didn't understand that, like you're getting yourself into some hot water now. But people who, one are in bigger buildings or understand the game a little bit better or a little bit more, I would say, solidified against this, and they're just kind of shrugging their shoulders, waiting for it to cycle back down.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same thing with like everything. It's just like I think you work out a lot, I work out a lot, and it's just like the same thing when it comes with when we're doing something hard where it's just like if we've lifted a lot of weights before and we're out of the gym for a bit, it's just like we're trying to get to, I guess, like 2 plates or 3 plates or whatever the goal is. And we've been
Yeah,
there before. So we know how hard it is and what the, I guess, like the challenges are going to come. Real estate going on a downturn, that's just one of the the cycles. So reading up on it, hearing other people's experiences and expecting that it's going to be hard prepares us for um, being able to, I guess, like prepares us for being able to ride back the wave up. So it's just
100%. No,
part of the game.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you've just kind of like hit it on the head, like, like we're in the game. Like this isn't like, oh, we're just splashing the pan, we're trying to buy one and retire off that first like little deal. Like, no, like this is a business, like we're both creating businesses and strategies that are gonna work for the long term. And when everyone freaks out, like I'm like, man, these interest rates have only been doing movements in like a 4 to 6 months period. That is such a short amount of time. Like if you extrapolate that back and look at it over like a 5 or 10 year, this 4 to 6 month period, it's like a little blip, like it means almost nothing. But I feel like everyone in the media just blows it out of proportion and nobody's really looking on it on a macro scale. And at the end of the day, I'm like, it's just cycles, so it'll come down, it'll come back up. So again, I'm not too worried. I loved your perspective on it.
Yeah, exactly that. And I think it's just like we've had like a really crazy time for real estate in the last 30 years.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry just to keep spitting things out like that, but it's something that I'm really passionate about because I do look at the numbers a lot for real estate. And so for me, it's just like I'm just like looking at things in the past couple of years where it's just like 30 years, like Canadian real estate has gone up. But it's just like if you look at other markets, like if you look at the US, they've had market cycles. If you look at anything, usually the cycles happen. And it's like if we're playing like a game where we're just like we're trying to, I don't know, like cut and we're expecting to eat like junk food all the time, right? That's just an unrealistic expectation. It's just like we're thinking real estate is going to go soaring and it's going to go flying the entire time. But we're just like, oh wait, we're just delusional at that point, somewhat,
Yeah.
right? We just gotta
No, that
know what game we're playing and expecting like the challenges that's coming to it. And that's the thing
oh,
that I just want to reiterate over and over again.
I love it. Given a realistic outlook onto what we're doing here, yeah, it's really good. I swear we could blow that up for forever. But let me jump to my second one here. I got so obviously we've talked like off camera, and like I got to know you over the last year and a half, which has been awesome. So you've had a lot of success, especially in long distance investing. What are one of your biggest challenges in long distance investing?
So long distance investing is, I think I have a little bit different perspective for this because I feel like people usually start off like closer and then they go longer. And so for me, I think my first property was in Cambridge and that was about an hour and like 15 minutes away from me without traffic. And
Okay.
so for me, it was I started off with like the worst like systems in place. I had no systems. It's
Yeah,
like
no
I had to
system.
do something. I had to like drive there. and I'd have to go there and back, and it'd be like 2.5 hours just to like, I don't know, like do some gardening, right? And
Yeah,
it'd
yeah,
be
yeah.
like the stupidest things. It's like change a lock, and I'd be like, you know what? I hustled hard today, right? But
Yeah.
like that's not the thing. It's just like I could have just had like a property manager do it, boots on the ground do it, ask the tenants if they wanted to do it or something like that. Where it's just like there's smarter ways to do that. And real estate, the thing that I learned was if you want to invest long distance, it's all about systems and processes. It's about relationships that you build with people, especially your power team. And when I say power team for the people there, it's just like you need to have good people that you trust
Yeah.
beside you, like property managers, contractors, lawyers, realtors, mortgage brokers, all of these people that would be connected to like a network of trusted people as well. So I think for me, it was just like the great tip was just like the biggest challenges was just property management and contractors. And if you have a good relationship there and you have good systems and processes in place, it doesn't matter where you are, Cambridge, Edmonton, or anywhere like around Canada. It's just like it's going to get easier with that.
100%, man. And you really killed it there because I was the same kind of like, well, my first property was close, but I didn't know what I was doing. So it might as well have been long distance because I was wasting time going to it all the time. But then when I started going like super long distance, I was like, well, I'm obviously not going there. So what am I going to do when stuff arises? And then you start building in systems. Sometimes I think people just like oh, long distance, I better have all 50 systems set up before I go. And I tell people it's like, it doesn't work like that because you can't set up systems for issues you don't have or you don't know. So it's
Mm-hmm.
as you build you'll create systems, but that's exactly like as the systems start building, it gets easier and easier. More of the processes get solidified, and you're able to really grow out that business. So I love that you kind of ran into the same issue when you were starting, and the systems were the reason that you kind of found success doing that long distance investing.
Yeah. And I think that's absolutely true. It's like everyone starts off like scrappy with like any business, with like real estate, especially. It's like, we'll buy this property, and then it's like, oh, we can do everything. But then when
Yeah.
the more you end up buying, it's just like, oh, wait, the paperwork, paying the bills, like all of these things, they do add up, even though they
Yeah.
don't take the most amount of time for one thing, but they add up so much that it's like it's impossible to do this without systems and processes at the end of the day.
100%, man. Systems and processes. Like, I feel like that is what defines someone from like someone who buys and sells real estate to someone who's a real estate investor and actually has that business. Because when people like sit down with you or I and be, oh, like, what do you do in real estate? Like, we could literally pull up the systems. Like, this is what's going on in the business. This is what's going on in this property. This is what's going on with this because we have systems in place versus someone with like a notepad and a pen that's just like, oh, I try and buy and sell properties. It just doesn't work when the systems aren't in place. So I love that we're able to kind of share that as a way to succeed, whether you're investing close to home or long distance.
Yeah. And
Awesome.
exactly that. And it's like, it's the time too. It's like we have a finite amount of time in the day. So it's just like what we're trying to do, what we're both trying to do is really just buy back our time, right? And if we're like buying these properties and spending all of our weekends, all of our evenings doing this, then what is this all for, right? At
Yeah,
the
you
end of
just
the
made
day.
a job. You just created another job for yourself. That was like literally the thing we were trying to get out of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Crazy. Last question I got for you here. So scaling up is every investor's like big sticking point. Everyone can do one, maybe two, but as they work to, three, four, five, 10, that's where they kind of get stuck. What were some of the tips or some of the things that you found helpful as you were scaling up and buying some more properties?
Mm. So I think the common answer is going to be, I guess, like financing or money for a lot of people. In this case, where I think they're the financing, if they wanted to do it themselves, there is a way to scale more than two or three. You could scale up to 10 properties. Again,
Yeah.
ask your mortgage broker about this, but there's a certain ratio that you can go by, and I think it's if your rent is two times your mortgage payment, that property is actually neutral. So then you can actually continue to buy more and more properties, right? And that's if you wanted to do everything entirely yourself, right?
Yeah.
Some people like that because they're like, oh, we just need all of these different things. for the approach that I took was more so of JV partners, where I was just using I used other people's qualifications for their financing and also their money. And then what we do is we just like, hey, I have a really good deal. You have the financing, you have the money for it. Let's do something together. And at
Nice.
the end of the day, it's just like what I found out was like the conversation isn't as difficult as we think it is because it's just like everyone's looking to make more money. And it's like if you can present them an opportunity and they trust you, then the question is just like, why not?
Exactly. I love it, man. And I feel like that's good too, because a lot of people beat their head and they're like, oh, this is so hard. Like, I can't do it. And I'm like, have you actually like worked on the actual problem? Because I mean, it's like, oh, I can't scale. Ooh, I can't scale. I'm sad. I'm like, okay, but what's actually the problem? Is financing your problem? Is it finding deals? Is it, access to capital? Because those are three completely different problems. If you're able to target, like, if yours was the qualification and the money, hey, go get a partner. But if yours was just finding deals, hey, we just got to teach you how to find deals better. So really defining actually what is your sticking point and attacking that to move on, I feel is one of the biggest ways you can continue to scale.
Yeah. It's first identifying the problem, like you said, because everyone's has a different problem. Yeah.
100%, man. Well, Antonio, as we wrap up here, any other final thoughts, final questions you wanted to share before we kind of get out of here today?
Yeah, no, I just love what you're doing with all these lives and what you're doing in real estate. So keep up all the amazing work. I love it. And yeah.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Guys, just wrapping up here. It's Isaiah Henry with First Position Real Estate. We had on Antonio Young. I shared some real great perspective on one, growing as a real estate investor, and two, working that long distance game to really find some success there. Antonio, where can people find out more about you if they want to get in touch, hook up, or learn a little bit more?
Yeah, just my Instagram handle here at ayoungmoney underscore. Yeah, that's where
Good
you can
stuff, man.
find me.
So I'll make sure I put that in the notes and I'll throw it down below on YouTube as well so you guys can all find him. Antonio, thank you so, so much for having us. It's Isaiah Henry for First Position Real Estate signing off. Have a good one, Antonio.
Okay, later.